The quarterfinal round begins this week, and we have three bowl games on the docket. First off, it will be the Cotton Bowl between the number 5 ranked New Mexico Lobos and the number 4 ranked Georgia Bulldogs. This matchup will feature two top young quarterbacks in Jaden McDaniels of Georgia and Caleb Williams of the Lobos. Lobo QB Caleb Williams has had an up and down season, and he faces a stiff pass defense this week versus the Cleveland Browns. This will have the Lobos falling back on their top passing targets, Puka Nakua and tight end Trey McBride. The Lobo running game is lacking star firepower with the absence of Cam Skatebow, so they will need their talented receivers to make up the difference. If Caleb Williams can somehow overcome the Browns' defense for a big game, it would also improve their chances of moving on to the semifinal round. Defensively, the Lobos also have a couple of strong players in lineman Aiden Hutchinson and linebacker Nate Landman, both of which are capable of taking over a game. The defending champion, Georgia Bulldogs, are dealing with questions surrounding their star quarterback, Jaden McDaniels, who returned in Week 14, but was again injured after landing hard on his previously injured left elbow, causing him to exit the game against the Vikings. With the Commanders not in contention in the NFL playoffs, there's a good chance of McDaniels missing the game, which is unfortunate for the Bulldogs. Georgia's only other option at the position is Zach Wilson, and he hasn't played all season. As a result, the Bulldogs are going to need to fall back on their deep cast of running backs, including Chase Brown, Zach Charbonnet, Tyler Algier, and Bucky Irving. This running back depth may be able to produce enough of a ground game to counter the Lobos and get Georgia to the semifinals. The Bulldogs also have a solid crew of receivers, including a top tight end in Kyle Pitts. It would be nice if the Bulldogs could count on the return of wideout Garrett Wilson, but his chances of playing are very much in question. Rookie wide receiver Tetairoa McMillan will be fresh coming off of a bye week, and George Pickens of the Cowboys has been a dependable target all season. Georgia will need Pickens, Kyle Pitts, and the running game to step up if they are to overcome the likely absence of Jaden Daniels, and a little help from key defensive players like linebackers Zach Bond and Carson Schwessinger, as well as defensive back Nishan Wright, wouldn't hurt. The one thing Georgia has going for them against the Lobos is depth, and the Lobos are highly dependent on Nakua and Trey McBride, and their young QB Caleb Williams is no guarantee to have a big game. So in spite of the injury to Daniels, the Bulldogs have a legitimate shot at winning the Cotton Bowl and moving on to the next round.